to adjust some light here so that we begin. Hello, hello. I don't know if the light is just on the right track. Hello, hello. Okay, guys, welcome. It's just amazing to be part of the TikTok live, guys. People who are watching from everywhere. Thank you so much for being a part of everything that I do post online. I appreciate your efforts, and I hope you're listening to me. And today I just sat down, and when I thought about this moment, I was like, I really have to do this, and I really have to make something out of this so that we can build something that is so fundamental. I'm so happy, especially for the people that follow me here on TikTok, for the guys that take time even to comment, to follow, to share, to like, and all those things that you guys do. It's quite amazing. And I'm so happy because I really appreciate, this is my first live I'm doing, and I appreciate for the guys who are joining. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to adjust the lights and all that. And I hope I'm going to catch up so that we are able to see the truth. But all in all, I just want to talk about something that at some point it's going to help us achieve something that is beautiful, something that is, that will bring growth in our lives. And one of the things that I came to understand in this life, that we all need each other. We need each other so that we can be able to grow. I need you, you need me, we need each other. The whole world is an entire brotherhood, is an entire sisterhood, and we need each other despite our differences, despite our races and all those things that we call differences. We need each other. So thank you so much, guys. And today I just want to speak about something that is common, something that I believe if we tackle these issues, we are going to see ourselves become a better people. And I'm so sure if we are willing to stand to make something that is beautiful, I believe we need to have a stand that will be able to bring a solution to our lives. Look at what happens even in these modern days. It's not that it never happened. It used to happen. All the breakups, the cheatings, the lies, especially in relationships, all those things, they were happening even before we came into existence, even before our parents thought about us. But because of modernity and urbanization, it has come to a place whereby now many people can be able to, have that part of receiving information from different places. Nowadays we have gadgets, we have internet, especially in our third world countries. We have all these things, and we are able to capture any information. And I believe when we come together, we will be able to see our relationships thrive and become better. And it's all about informing each other what we need to do, what we have to do, because at the end of the day, it's a matter of growing. You know, in these modern days, we have people who have their own ideas. They want to have relationships based on what they think is right for them. But I believe each and everything has a principle that was laid from time immemorial. And when we work on those principles, when we do due justice to those things, we will be able to see the come out, or basically the very need that will help us become better. So my prayer today, as you've joined, I want us to be a part of a team that will be able to grasp this information and we grow beyond where we are. It's very crucial. So I just want to talk about modern dating struggles, the modern dating struggles. You know, I took time because this was my first TikTok live. I just took time to put down things that I'm going to talk about so that we are able to see the truth that most of us sometimes don't see. You see, the many things I do post on TikTok, those are things that I see daily. Especially from the people that are close to me, from what I see on social platforms, from what I see, I hear people talk to me about. And one thing that I've come to understand is that if we are able to stand on what is true and definite, I believe we are going to bring a change in our relationships. There are those people who are not married yet, and you're watching, and there are those that are married, there are those who are dating at this particular moment. You have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, and you really want to know how to go about it. You want to see something different happen in your life. I believe this is that time that you've been waiting for. I believe this is that moment you've been desiring, and maybe there's just an information you're waiting to listen to, but you never thought that you could hear it from here. But I believe this moment is that time. So modern dating struggles, when you hear about that, what comes to your mind? What are the thoughts? What are the ideas that come to you? And what do you really want to achieve? You know, the beauty of this life, God designed things differently from how we thought that it could be. God desired that humanity can experience whatever he created, whatever he had formed. But man desired that everything should be a part of how himself desires it to be. You know, the big question is this: what did God desire for humanity? Because that is the kind of revelation we don't have. Because when it comes to marriage, many people are losing the beat to understand what is the essence of being in a relationship. What is the essence of being in marriage? Because we are losing the sweetness of being in relationships because of the so many things that are happening. Because one of the things that I've come to realize is that God never designed that man should just walk in desperation. Man should just walk in a place of, losing himself. Because God created each one of us whole. And he wanted us to experience the beauty of what he created wholesomely. But man, because of his selfish desires, he came to a point whereby he wants to satisfy his own selfish ambitions. He wanted to feel like he can, fill that gap and make himself a part of a journey that only satisfies himself selfishly. And that is why many relationships are ending up in a way that is so bitter and in a way that is so gruesome. And that is why today I just came here so that we can talk about this. We can understand the modern dating struggles. People really want to get into marriage. The other day I just came across a story and it was so saddening. This man came into this woman's life and this man had an agenda. He paid a big money for dowry, and he did a very big wedding. But at the end of the day, the man had an agenda because the woman was filthy rich. That lady, she was only young, around her early 30s, and she had made all the money in the world. But at the end of the day, what was really happening is that the man had a certain idea to take away all the wealth of that man, of that lady. At the end of the day, his own plans and his own ideas did not end up well, because at the end of that time, everything was realized, and that woman was saved from that man. What am I trying to say? We are in a place whereby many want to get into relationships, but they are getting into relationships based on their own ideas. Like I said before, there are certain laws and principles that were set. And if we get to understand, if we get into that place of realizing the reality and the potentials that were set, I tell you the truth, we will be able to see everything working the way they're supposed to be done. Just like now, let me give an example. We have the Constitution of Kenya. And even in other countries, we have a constitution, and everyone works within that constitution. Even the president himself is not above the constitution. We work within that constitution. And it is not a probability, it is what is required so that something tangible can happen. What am I trying to say? There are laws and there are principles, like I previously said once again. And when it comes to being in a relationship, it requires that you understand those laws and you understand those principles. And modern dating struggles are real, and people are struggling. And one of the things that I came across so fundamental, and I really want us to understand, one of the things that I came to see is the illusions of options. Illusions of options. The dating pool seems large. Look at what is happening on social media. It is so crazy. People are getting to know each other through the dating apps. You see all over. People really want to get into relationships. But the question is, what are the reasons? Why do you want to get into a relationship? Because I believe boys marry for love and sex, but men get into relationships because of purpose and companionship. A real man does not get into a relationship because of love and because of sex. Because all those things are just but for a moment. At the end of the day, they're going to fade. You're not going to have sex with your partner every day, every morning, every evening. You're not going to do that. You're not going to have that feeling towards your partner that is of love every other day. It changes because those are emotions. And those are just chemical reactions in your body. You're not going to love your partner just the way you loved her yesterday. Tomorrow morning you will wake up differently, not feeling like talking to them. But when you marry for purpose, when you marry for companionship, the reality is you'll see yourself ending up in a place of greatness. Because many relationships that ended up being in a place of just love and sex do not end up well. But when it comes to purpose and companionship, trust me, 10, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years, you're going to be together. And I'm not saying being together for 50 years determines the quality of that relationship, because the quality of the relationship is by understanding the reasons as to why you got married to that person. And also understanding that this person, I'm with them, not based by feelings, but by choice. And I'm going to move on with this person and get to a place of understanding that there is nothing that I have to do but choose to be with this person for the rest of my life. Because what is happening on social platforms, it's fake. We all know it's fake. Look at the celebrities we are having. Most of them, they're getting into relationships. And they really want something beautiful. They really want to be in a place that is so awesome and wonderful. But at the end of the day, what happens? It is only for status. They are getting into relationships because of status. At the end of the day, the other day I just saw a celebrity got into marriage, and right now they are divorcing. Because it's all about status. That is what they are doing. But the agenda of God was not for the sake of status and all that. It was not for the sake of money, like what we are putting right now. Nowadays, modern relationships are crazy. People are getting into relationships because at the end of the day, it's what you're bringing on the table. The man of today has lost his purpose for relationships. And he wants to get into marriage or in a relationship with this lady. Because if that lady does not have money, if that lady does not have beauty, that man will just disappear like that. And for the ladies too, we see that there are ladies that really want to get into marriage, get into relationships, get into that place, but they're not willing to see the truth about everything. They're not willing to see the reality of that relationship. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you understanding the reality of getting what is true and what is definite. Because you cannot be in a place whereby at the end of the day, it's all about you. Selfishness is what is killing relationships nowadays. Selfishness is what is killing and making people lose the sweetness, the essence of a true relationship. It does not work like that. I can see someone saying that, the lighting is a little bit off, but I want to let you know that I'm working on that and it's going to be good and better next time. What am I trying to say? We're in a place whereby modern relationships require the laws and the principles I was talking about. Because at the end of the day, it's all about getting into a place knowing I'm not getting into a contract. I'm not getting into a place, I'm just going to be there for some time and then I leave. It's a matter of getting into it and moving on with it and making sure that you build something that is fundamental for the sake of that relationship. Another illusion of options that I was talking about, many people suffer from choice paralysis or FOMO, fear of missing out. You're getting into a relationship because you fear losing that relationship. You fear that you're not getting a child. You're getting old. Those are the things that people are fighting each and every day because they don't want to understand. Like I said, when you get into a relationship, it's a matter of purpose and companionship. Children will come and go. Many things are going to happen in that relationship. But what will stand is a relationship that understands its purpose, understands the laws and the principles that are required to build that relationship. Because you cannot be in a place you're fighting each day. You cannot be in a place whereby your husband or your man cannot listen to you. Your wife is not willing to listen to you. That is not the way to be and the way to function. There are those people who are so narcissistic. They don't want their wives to express themselves. And they think they're women, they're too emotional when they express themselves. But the truth is, I believe a man who understands the purpose of being in a relationship, in reality, he will be able to understand the emotions of a woman. And he will be able to even, interpret how it can work and make it better in that relationship. Because truth is, you cannot walk in a place whereby you're losing out every day. Many people are in marriages and they are not happy. They're only there for status. I'm married. I have a child. But is that the will of God? Is that the agenda of God? That is not what God desired for you and I. I think the best thing that you can do is to understand that we are in a place whereby we need to get it right each and every time. So when you are working out to get into a relationship, you have to build it without fear. You have to take responsibility and understand that you have to get out of that fear that you're losing out. That fear that there is nothing that is going to happen in that relationship. It takes work. Every relationship takes work. And it requires you and me to build it, to make it function. Because nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy. It's all about you working on it. Every relationship requires that you work on it. And many have failed because the two individuals are not willing. Everyone is fighting. Or that effort is coming from the other person. I believe it's important to get into that place of knowing that it takes the effort of you to make it work. Because it takes two to tangle and two to fumble. At the end of the day, to make that relationship, you have to get out of fear. So when it comes to dating, you have to realize that you have to break free from that place of choice paralysis, the fear of missing out. You have to break free. You see, that is an illusion that you're having. You have that fear that you're not going to get it right. The beauty of the matter and the reality of it all, to get it right, it's upon you to make a choice that will build something that is futuristic. I know you're listening to me and you're wondering. The other point is easy access creates disposability. People don't value who is in front of them. You know, also one of the things that I came to see when you're dating someone, for you to be seen like someone who has value, you have to be very careful, because you have to be very intentional on how you approach things. Even approaching that lady, for you men, when you're approaching that lady, you have to be very intentional. You have to mean it. And when a man approaches you, my ladies, my sisters, I want to talk to you. When a man approaches you and you, in your heart, you feel and you think that this is the guy that you want to have a journey with, you also have to be intentional. But you don't have to be stupid when you're making that choice. You don't have to be silly when you're making that decision. You know, I said today it's going to be raw, real and raw. So when I'm speaking out, I just want you to understand what I'm trying to bring out. You have to be intentional. You have to have that willingness deep within you to make that relationship work. Because it can never work if you're not willing to be part of that person. So when you're getting involved with that person, you have to be in a place of understanding them and knowing that this is a journey that I'm beginning. And I want this thing to work out no matter what. I want this thing to be futuristic no matter what. It doesn't matter. And there's no relationship that is perfect. Let me give an example. Right now I'm live and I'm watching this. There are various mistakes. You can see mistakes. And that is how relationships are. You will always see mistakes. You will always see issues when you're doing those things. There will always be imperfection. And in that moment of imperfection, that is when we get to know each other. And that is when we get to build each other. Why are people divorcing for those who are in marriage? It is because people lose the interest of understanding their partner the first time that these people did or they made that mistake. Because they are not willing to be a part of that journey. They are not willing to build that relationship. Because at the end of the day, you know, there's a very beautiful verse that says that a cord of 3 strands cannot be easily be broken. You know, when God is in the midst of the two of you, when that cord has been brought and fashioned by God, I believe it is not going to break that easily. And that is what also we've been taught. It cannot break easily. But we have to come to a place of understanding that we need knowledge to make that relationship work. That is why many relationships are ending and many relationships are not working out, because no one is willing to work on that relationship. And the other thing is the lack of knowledge on what it entails to be in a relationship. The beauty of everything is based on you understanding that knowledge is required even before getting into any relationship or marriage. Most of us, we've lost the beauty of what marriage is because we got into it without understanding. We have children with that man, with that woman. At the end of the day, we've lost many years thinking that I'm married to this person, this was that person that I was supposed or I was meant to be with. Let me tell you, the right person is in a relationship. The right person in a relationship is that imperfect person. That imperfect person that has made a choice to work on that relationship. Because there is no perfect person in this world. As long as that person has no narcissistic behavior and they are willing to be humble in that marriage or any relationship, I believe that relationship is going to work. And I believe it's going to be something that is, better, even in this generation. It doesn't matter what is happening in our world right now. So many things are happening. You can see even in the Western countries what is happening. In Europe, even here in Africa, People are, they're having contracts to get into marriage. I just want to have your child. I just want to have your, I want you to give me your seed. I want you to give me your belly so that we can carry this. We can have a woman that comes in the middle. We call a surrogate mother. And then we have a child. And then after that, we can part ways. I will pay you this amount. That was not the intention of God from beginning. God desired that the institution of marriage can flourish on the basis of knowledge. And in the Bible, there were few guys who came, the disciples, they came to him and asked him a question. In the book of Matthew, I think chapter 3 or chapter 4, they asked him a question. According to the laws of Moses, it was meant that when you don't feel to have a woman, I'm paraphrasing, when you don't feel to have a woman, you need to give them a certificate of divorce. But Jesus gave them a very profound answer. Moses gave you those laws because your hearts were so hard. But from the beginning, it was not like so. I want to explain something. Relationships are ending because people have hardened their hearts so much. They don't want to understand that they are imperfect, and in that imperfection, they can build something that is very beautiful. I've seen couples, even on various social platforms, and they're displaying how long they've been together. Some of them happy, some of them not happy. Someone has been in marriage for the last 30, 40, 50 years. Some of them are beautiful stories. And some of those stories end up to be in a place of turmoil because they lost the interest to work on that relationship. So number 2, I was talking about the illusion of options. And for those who are joining, we are talking about modern dating struggles. So number 2, I want to talk about the fear of commitment. The fear of commitment. People crave love but fear vulnerability. You want to be in love, but you don't want to be vulnerable. Have you ever heard of those people who say, I want to look for a partner who will love me more, but I don't want to love them more, but I want that person to love me more? That person is very dangerous. They are safeguarding their emotions at the expense of making the other person lose their mental capacity to handle situations emotionally. They always tend to be in a place of, this person loves me more, I don't love them more. If it is like that, there's nothing that can happen in that relationship. You have to be with a person that you can be vulnerable with. You have to express your emotions to them. There are clips on social platforms where couples are playing games and doing funny stuff, crazy things, in fact. And so many people admire such people. And those are the things that many desire in their marriages. That is the same thing that you can create in yours. But because you're so stingy with your emotions, you're so stingy with how things should run, you don't want to be a part of that journey. Have you ever heard of those people that say that, I'm not emotional, I don't know how to express my emotions, I'm so rigid, I cannot do it? It is because they are protecting themselves from something that is fundamental. Because people crave for love, but they're avoiding to be vulnerable. The reality is, a relationship that you can't be vulnerable to your partner is not going to end up well. Someone else will be fighting so hard to keep that relationship alive. But you have to understand that you need to be in a relationship that the both of you have the same interest. If it's on emotions, you're expressing the same energy. And that is what is required. But many are struggling to be a part of such kind of a relationship. But because of such kind of negativities, people are not willing to be a part of it. I want you to know that the beauty of everything, the beauty of being in a relationship requires you to understand that it needs that knowledge to make it better. So those people who are in relationships, you have to understand that you need to be with a person that you can be vulnerable with. Don't wait for the other person to express the emotions to you. You need to be that first person who does it. You need to put your best foot forward. Because from the beginning you suggested that you want to be with this person. Why did you marry them from the beginning? Why did you want to be with them? If you don't want to have fun with them, to experience life with them, to have all the silly things in this life with them, you have to understand that you have to take responsibility by getting into that platform whereby it's going to create a foundation that is long lasting. Every relationship requires those emotional moments, those moments that there are no emotions, but you're able to talk to this person and be with this person. So the fear of commitment is real, especially in this generation. And that is why many are breaking up. We are getting married today, tomorrow the marriage is ending. Today I found you as my girlfriend, as my boyfriend, tomorrow it's ending, because people are fearing commitment. Some weeks I had a friend calling me and telling me, you know what, Salim? I don't want to get married. I just want to get a lady who is willing to have a child. At the end of the day, we part ways, but I'm going to take care of that child. People are scared to be committed to one person. And that is why relationships cannot have that, that thrill, that desire to be on top here. Look at what is happening even in churches nowadays. Let us even talk in mosques. I've met with Muslim ladies. They are telling me, you know what? I was married as the fourth wife, but because of the religious standards and all that, I'm not happy, but I have to be here. Even those Christians in churches, I said today I'm going to keep it real and raw. Even in churches we see women, they're wives of pastors. At the end of the day, they're not happy. They are there because of status. Why should you be with a person that you're not happy with? You only live once. I'm not advocating for divorce, but you have to think straight before you get into a relationship, because modern day relationships are not going to thrive. They are not going to go anywhere if we continue to do what we are doing. We have to change how things used to happen. Let me give an example. We have cultural marriages, those traditional marriages where wives were told to submit by fire, by force. And they were told by the community that you have to take responsibility of this man. You have to do it. And there's no other way. And the women those days, they had to do it. They used to go to the shambas. They used to go into the kitchen and do all those things by fear. And it was not willingly. It was based by fear because of culture and tradition. And today we have modern way of doing things. And that is why we're having people who are getting married to people who cannot even get it right. People are signing contracts. Nowadays we see even prenups are being signed before getting into marriages, because we have cultural marriage and we have the kingdom marriage, and we have this other third one, that modern way of getting married to this person. At the end of the day, you have to understand that when we get into that place of desiring to be in marriage, you have to do it the way it's supposed to be done. Those were the principles that were set, because Jesus told his disciples from the beginning it was not like so. So the question is, how was the beginning? The beginning was in that place of understanding that our marriage is kingdom based. It's kingdom based, not Christian based. Kingdom based. I'm not talking about Christianity here. We are dismantling Christianity. We are bringing the kingdom here. So it has to be kingdom minded. It has to be structured on what God designed in his kingdom. Because the idea of God was marriage will be in a place that is honorable, where the man and the woman commit to each other unselfishly, without putting the other person down, without making the other person feel like they're slaves, without demoting the other person or devaluing the other person. It was all about renewing the mind of each other, renewing the emotions, renewing the reality of life and how it's supposed to be. So it's very important and very crucial for you to understand that getting into the right place, you have to ensure that you break free from what we were taught from way before, and from what we saw from way before. Because it's not about Christian marriage, it's about kingdom marriage. It's not about Islam marriage, it's about kingdom marriage. The kingdom marriage will make things better and beautiful. And I'm here to challenge us that we need to get into that place of understanding, that we need to break free from sometimes from our personalities. Have you ever heard of those people who say, this is my personality? You know, I was born like this. I'm an extrovert. I'm an introvert. You have to let go your introversy out of the door. You have to let go your extroversy out of the door. And you have to understand that when you're getting into that marriage, you have to be in a place of balancing everything. Your woman has to understand you. Your man has to understand you. And to be in a place of making things clear to your partner. Like for me, most of the time I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't feel like talking to anyone. But I have to adjust myself and talk and bring out something even to my woman and speak it and share it without fear of contradiction. Because I want something that is tangible, something that is beautiful, something that is wonderful, something that is concrete. And it's all about you expressing yourself in a way that will do justice to your very, very relationships. And the fear of commitment, another thing that makes it difficult and makes it hard is this. Past traumas, trust issues, and social pressures make people run from depth. Past traumas. Have you dealt with your past? Have you worked on those things that you went through from previous relationships, from previous relationships? Have you dealt with those things? There are those people who have been in marriage, who have been in relationships, who have been part of that journey. But at the end of the day, what has happened to these people? They've never worked on those past issues. They've faced traumas in their lives. They've struggled with issues over and over. And they've not handled things, or they've not done things the way they're supposed to be done. Their parents never apologized to them. They've never apologized to their parents. Like for me, I remember back in the days, my mom is a very harsh person. And I remember one day my mom hit me so hard. And I ran out of, where we used to stay. I ran out naked. I still remember I was so naked. I ran all over. And it was so painful. And I can still remember up to date. One day I confronted my mom and I told her, Mom, I never liked what you did to me. I never liked that. Because that experience traumatized me at some point. And I had to deal with those issues because I didn't want to get into a relationship and bring such a thing even to my child. And I began to beat them and make them feel the way I used to feel. Because there are parents who do that. They revenge their past traumas and they bring those kind of revenges to their children. And they beat their children in a way that cannot be understood. So my brothers and my sisters, we have to deal with those issues. Just because someone else broke your heart, it doesn't mean that every man is a dog. Just because every woman broke your heart and made you feel like nothing, not every lady loves to come into a man's life just because of money. We have women who respect men, women of value, women that are virtuous, women that are willing to make decisions that are profound. I believe even if it's not a bigger percentage, that very small percent can work miracles. Because I believe and I understand, just like the good book says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Look at that thing. He who finds a wife. So it's a matter of finding that woman in the right place. Where do you find that woman? You find that woman in God. When we talk about the presence of God, what is the presence of God? The presence of God is inside of you. That is where the presence of God is inside of you. So you have to look for God within you so that you are able to see the reality of the matter. Topic of another day. So you have to deal with those issues. You have to take that, precaution on handling those issues that were of the past. Like social pressures. Social pressures. Look at what is happening on social media. People are getting married left, right, and center. People are having the best of weddings. People are having great weddings, and people are going out there and they're doing, they're just wishing that they can show, the whole world, even into the corners of the earth, they can show those people what is happening in relationships. But I want to make you understand, don't believe everything that is on social media, because not everything is real. In this era of AI, look at what is happening. Nowadays, we see funny videos created. People are displaying fictional ideas and images out here. Not everything should be trusted. But you have to understand when you're getting into marriage. Avoid certain pressures. Just because your friend got married early, just because, people are having children all over, you have to deal with this kind of pressure. So the fear of commitment is real. The other point is, they want intimacy without responsibility, creating emotional confusion. They want intimacy without responsibility. You want to be with this person. You want to be intimate with this person. You want to have that sexual intimacy with them, but irresponsibly. You don't want to be with this person by handling situations the way they're supposed to. How will it happen? How will it be? How can you deal with situations if you're not willing to work and walk a journey that is profound, a journey that can make that relationship real? My brothers and my sisters, I want to let you know that the beauty of life, that the sweetness of life is by understanding that intimacy comes at a price. And that price is finding that true person, that true partner that you can walk with, that you can be with, that you can, do life with. It's all about that. My brothers and my sisters, wherever you are, marriage is not difficult. Being in a relationship is not difficult. What is difficult is who we are as a person. It is us who makes it difficult for relationships to become. One of the other things that I came to realize is that there is nothing in relationships. There's nothing in marriage. What we do, we only bring who we are into those relationships. We bring our personalities into those relationships. Someone else is just different from the other, and we bring those kinds of differences into that relationship. So if we cannot work on those things, we cannot build something that is beautiful. And we have to take responsibility. Because you cannot be intimate with someone, like I said previously, those people that are waiting for the other person to love them so that they can love them back. You cannot be with such kind of a person. You have to deal with them. And how do you deal with such a kind of a person? You just have to just go back and let them do whatever they want to do. You back off and let them do what they want to do. Because at the end of the day, being in a relationship requires knowledge. It requires understanding. And boys don't do relationships. Girls don't do relationships. It's men, it's women who have understood their position in being in relationships. Number 3, mixed signals and the talking stage trap. Mixed signals and the talking stage trap. This is where many people go wrong. The first point is the talking stage has become endless and meaningless. Have you ever seen these people who are getting into a relationship and they've dated for 5 years? They've dated for 10 years. Why should you date someone for 10 years? Why should you date someone for 5 years? As far as I can remember, I've never dated someone for 10 years. No, I cannot do that. No. That is where we go wrong. Because for 10 years, what are you doing? For 7 years, for 5 years. And most of us, we've made those mistakes. And we think and we've thought that if we date someone for 5 years, it's going to be a great relationship. You will never know your partner until you be part of them, you walk with them, you journey with them, beyond just being in a relationship of boyfriend and girlfriend. You will never know them. By understanding this person, it's all about getting and making a choice that I want to get married to this person. And being married to this person, I'm not saying marriage is a must. It is not a must to get married. It is upon willingness. You choose to get married. It is never a must. And God will not punish you if you don't get married. God will not destroy your life. God will not unalive you if you don't get married. That is not the position of God. The position of God is for his children to enjoy life. If you can enjoy life as a single person, there is no harm, as long as you do it right. As long as you make, foundational decisions that are going to make things better for you and for every person that sees what you're doing, they can learn from you. So the beauty of being in a relationship, like I always say, it's upon you understanding the principles, those laws, those values that were set for us into being in a relationship. So you cannot date someone for all those years, because this is the same person you keep on talking to them. There's nothing new. There's nothing fresh. I know you'll question me and ask, what about marriage? What about being in marriage? There's nothing new. There's nothing fresh. Yes, I understand. This is one person you're going to see for the rest of your life. But you know what? Marry your friend. Marry that person that you can joke with, that you can have fun with, that you can have silly things with. You can touch them, in those ways that they feel, what are you doing, babe? I know you understand what I'm talking about. You need to marry your friend. And marrying your friend is also by understanding that you will get mad at your friend. You'll get pissed off with your friend. But because this person is your friend, you will not hate them. You'll correct them with love. Have you ever met with those people that say that I was in a relationship, and me being in a relationship, we've never quarreled with my husband? And for sure, I've come to understand that most of these people, they are not pretending. What they are doing, they've understood the prerequisites of being in a relationship. They've understood the idea of being in a relationship, the nature of what it takes to be in a relationship. You cannot deal with a person who is not willing to build something in a relationship. You have to understand that dating for long does not mean that it's going to be a quality relationship. It only means that you've known this person for 5 years. And for sure, you're never going to know them. And you see people are dating for 5 years and the quality of that relationship ends because you're sleeping with this person without having purpose, without having understanding, why am I with this person? You just want to be with them because of sex. You want to sleep with them because they have a beautiful body, because they have beautiful thighs, because they are yellow, because they have, some nyash that I can enjoy. I want to let you know it's not about that, my brothers and sisters. It's about common sense, having knowledge and understanding the purpose as to why you need to be in a relationship. Yes, today I was keeping it real. I know your pastor will not tell you this. I know some of you, even your parents, will not tell you this, but I will tell you. Don't get into marriage because you love that person. Love does not sustain marriage. It does not. Love cannot do it. Then what sustains a marriage? It is knowledge. What do you know? Because they always say what you don't know doesn't kill you. But I want to let you know, what you don't know kills you. It destroys you. What you don't know will destroy you. It will unalive you. And how? What do I mean by that? For so long, that phrase has been made to make us feel guilty, that what you don't know doesn't unalive you. But what you don't know, trust me, it will destroy you. You need to seek for knowledge. You need to be in a place of perusing the pages of life and understanding how life is, so that you can make it better, so that you can break every protocol that was designed to bring relationships down. That is the beauty of how things should work. So the mixed signals and the talking stage trap. We've talked about the talking stage has become endless and meaningless. You talk for all those 5 years dating and there's nothing. The other point is no clarity, no direction, just vibes and confusion. I know some of you, you're in a relationship. This person is never telling you they're going to marry you. They're just taking you round and round. They reach on a roundabout, they turn you, and they go with you different places, but they never announce their intentions because they lack purpose. To you, you're just an entertainment tool. One time, I saw a friend of mine, he was in this relationship, and, they dated for 2-3 years, and I asked him one question: why are you in this relationship, and why do you want to marry this woman? And this guy told me, I don't know. And back in the days, for those people who know this show that was on KTN, it was called The Beat. It was on NTV, not KTN. It was called The Beat. This is the answer I gave him: my bro, I think you're just the beat. You're entertaining this lady. If you don't know why you're supposed to be in a relationship, why are you involving yourself with them? Why are you being part of them? You need to break free and get rid of this relationship and make better decisions that are going to be fundamental and all that. So you need to have a clear picture on why you need to be in a relationship, because every relationship requires a revelation that is outstanding. You cannot be with this person who never, displays their intentions to you. You're married to this person, they will still never show you. They will never show you which is the way to go. There will be no direction from them. And that is why people are fighting. And one of the other things that I came to understand, so many times we get mad at our spouses. We are mad at them. We are just pissed off with them. And sometimes we lose our cool and we find ourselves fighting them. At the end of the day, the reality is we need to break free from this so that we can make even the coming generations much better. Some of you do not have children today. Tomorrow you're going to have children. And today you're feeling so sweet. And you're feeling like, I can enjoy life. But let me tell you, in the next 10 years, you'll be that old man. One day let me joke about this. I posted something and one guy called me Mzee wa Kipara. And then I said to myself, for real, I laughed. Those words don't get me. I'm okay, people can say whatever. But I was like, why is this guy calling me Mzee wa Kipara? And then I decided to click on the profile of that person. And I looked at him and I said, your time is coming. Each one of us, someday, we are going to grow old. We are going to get out of this life. But what are we going to leave here? The children that we are going to sire. The children that we are going to be part of. I tell you the truth. These very people, my dear brothers and sisters, at the end of the day, they are going to learn from us. Those children are going to learn from us. So what are we displaying? And what are we going to bring? One day, your account will not be deleted. Your social accounts will not be deleted. And some of us are going to leave this earth while our social accounts are still alive. And you know what? At the end of the day, the children that we sire, they will go back to those accounts to find out what did our parents do? What were they doing on these platforms? My brothers and my sisters, will you be a good example to your children? Will you be a good example to that generation? So my request and my challenge to you, you need to have a clear picture of where you want to go. You have to be intentional of where you need to be, because every relationship requires a vision. So you need to be with a person that is willing to be a part of that journey, a visionary. And most of the time we say, it is men who need to have vision. They need to know where they're going so that they can lead. That is what we've been told. But I tell you the truth, in this generation, no man wants to marry a silly woman. No man wants to marry an empty-headed woman. We need women who are knowledgeable, women that are pursuing the reality of life, women that can do great things even in this life. And if any man at the end of the day is being intimidated by how women can do great things, that is not a real man. A real man takes a bold step and supports that kind of a woman. That woman we talk about in Proverbs 31. When you just go and read that chapter, Proverbs 31, that is not a silly woman. That is a woman that has taken a stand A woman that has been empowered and has been made to know herself. And that woman is walking a journey of greatness. That woman is that kind of a woman. You know, I love giving an example. You all remember Oriero Gomanduli. That woman was a strong woman. A woman that knew her position. And no man challenged that woman. I'm not saying that to be in a position where you don't have to respect men and value men. All I'm saying is you need to know that for the men, you need to understand we need women that are strong. Women that are warriors, both emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Women that can stand and say what you're doing is not right, respectfully. And I think, baby boy, this is what we need to do. That is the kind of a woman that I believe strong men desire. A woman that can build, a home, not a house. Because at the end of the day, houses are being built, but we need women that can build a home. Because a home is what is felt. A home is the environment. A home is the atmosphere. Personally, when I come back home, I love to see my person smiling at me. Because she makes that home not cold, but she makes it so sweet and pleasurable. So what is your partner doing? And what are you willing to do? For those that are not engaged or are in relationships, I want to let you know, you need to work on yourself and make yourself better before you get into a relationship. You don't need to be in a relationship whereby your man is struggling to pull out the best out of you. What your man needs to do is to improve how better you are. And the same way, you need to improve how better your man is. They don't need to just whip you all over. At the end of the day, there will be friction. If they are trying to make you better each and every day, you need to be with a person that understands and builds you and makes you know that, hey, this is how things are supposed to be. This is how things are required, and this is how things can be better. The other point about mixed signals and all that, one person may want something real, while the other is just bored, lonely, or ego boosting. Have you ever met with this person? They are married, but they don't feel their wives. They don't have that energy, that can boost their way of being. It is because there's something we are all looking for. And because of our personalities at some point, we are looking for a partner that can pull out the best out of us. They can bring something that is tangible and make us feel whole and all that. But the danger of it all is that people cannot get into that place, because at the end of the day, they are losing out because, like I said previously, they lack knowledge. So people are not real. One person may want something real. And we know that nowadays people, there are people who are almost 40s. They are not married. It's not that they fear to be, they fear commitment. It's because of mixed signals. They are with this person, but this person is, portraying an image that is not crucial, an image that is not beautiful. So at the end of the day, what happens? It becomes difficult. It becomes uneasy for them. So at the end of the day, it becomes something that cannot be, groomed to a place of existing. Because every marriage requires, or every relationship requires a person to work on that relationship, to make it better. Because, as I said previously, that relationship requires the same kind of energy. If this person is giving that vibe that is positive, you also need to give that energy. So you have to be clear. You have to be intentional. You have to know why you're in that relationship so that you don't get bored, so that you don't lose yourself. That is the reality of it all. The beauty of being in a relationship, it's all about understanding. Number 4, ghosting, breadcrumbing, and emotional games. Modern dating struggles. Ghosting, breadcrumbing, and emotional games. What do I mean? Why do people disappear without explanation? I remember I used to do that. I disappear without explaining where I'm going. I know some of you are laughing and smiling. But I want you to know there are people, and I'm talking to you, people just disappear. They get into a relationship with you, but they disappear. What? They're never seen. And I can tell you the reason. Ladies, listen to me. The reason why that man disappeared, it's because they don't love you. He disappeared because he does not feel you. And he wants to just enjoy your goodies because he has no plan of being with you. And that is why he's disappearing without explanation. He goes from Monday, that is when on Saturday he's coming back. My brother, that lady doesn't love you because she's disappearing. She's not made a choice to be a part of you. Her feelings are not with you. I'm telling you the truth. Accept it. And you're going to save your soul. You're going to save yourself from so much in the future. I disappeared. I remember once I disappeared. I went away for some time and I came back the other day. I didn't love that person. I was not in love with them. I just wanted to enjoy that moment with them and just go. I know I'm talking to you, and I want to let you know that in this particular time and day, you're approaching late 30s, you're approaching late 40s. You don't know what to do. You have to make critical decisions and know that this life cannot be repeated. You know, we have important decisions, we have urgent decisions and critical. If you're only dealing with important decisions in that relationship, you're not yet in that place of making urgent decisions. And if you're in that place of making urgent decisions, you need to make critical decisions so that you build something that is futuristic. And I'm praying that even in this generation where there's so much that is happening, certain kinds of struggles. Look at what has happened even to this celebrity in America. We all know he's jailed by the name P, you know, the P, whatever. You know what is happening to him. Right now he's jailed. Because at the end of the day, he had made a decision. This is what I want to satisfy. This is what I want to feel. This is what I enjoy. Because that is the hunger that we have as humans. There's a gap in our hearts. There's a gap inside of us that we want to satisfy, that we want to make that gap get to a place of, you know what, it gets satisfied. But it will never be satisfied. You can never quench that thirst. It will never. So my brothers and my sisters, what am I trying to say? People disappear because they don't love you and they don't wish to be a part of you. And they love someone else. So get it right and make a decision that is fundamental. And the other point is emotional manipulation has become normalized. I know of marriages that couples are traumatizing each other. They're manipulating each other in that relationship. If she cannot do it, I will never do it. If he cannot do it, I will never do it. That is emotional manipulation. You have to take responsibility. You have to be in a place of understanding that, hey, I have to make this thing work. I have to do it without manipulating the other person. It's all about you bringing out that thing. And I tell you, if you cannot work on that, your relationship is going to fall. It is just heading to a place of destruction. You can't wait for your partner to do things. You have to do it. You cannot let your partner be the only one doing all those things over and over and over. No, it does not work like that. So emotional manipulation has become normalized. And people don't know it. Even those people who are manipulating the other person, they don't know it. And they cannot be a part of it. So my prayer is that we need to be in a place of doing it right, of making crucial steps that are going to make that relationship work. I don't want to dwell on that point so much. So the other point is many use people as placeholders or emotional fillers without honesty. This is for the people who break up. You break up with your partner. You break up with them. And then at the end of the day, you want to be in a place, you want to be in a place. Oh, I can see there's something that is happening here. Oh, Something has just happened. Apology for that. You know, many people, you've been in a relationship and you've been with this person. At the end of the day, what is happening? You are craving for something that is futuristic, but you're not getting it because someone else got heartbroken, and when you came into that relationship, they are not willing to tell you the truth that they're still working on themselves and all that. So they just want you to fill that gap and work with you in that relationship. But my brothers, is it necessary? Should it be like that? No, it shouldn't be like that. It should be a place of understanding that you have to be in a relationship with a person that has taken the necessary steps to understand the principles and the laws of how to be in a relationship. I have a friend. You can never tell them anything. That friend, you can never tell them. They are always right. You can never say anything to them. That is emotional manipulation, being with someone like that. You can never tell that person anything because they feel they're on top of the world and they know everything. When you say this, they know it. When you say the other thing, they know it. I want to let you know, being with such kind of a person, it takes a lot of heart. You cannot get into a relationship with a person that feels like they know everything and they correct you all the time. When you make a mistake, they're correcting you over and over and over to make you feel guilty of the things that you're doing, even if you're doing it wrongly. What they need to know, such people, you need to understand, if someone is correcting you, it's all about making you better, not about making you feel like nothing, like you're doing nothing. Like I gave an example. I'm doing a live video right now. I can see there's some imperfections here and there. I can accept there's certain imperfections. It's my first video on TikTok. But I believe as I'm doing this, I'm growing into something better. And even in relationships, you get into it knowing that you will be growing into something better. But it takes work. It takes work. As you keep on doing it and pushing it and making sure that you input what is required, you are going to make that thing become better each and every day. So, number 5, temporary thrills versus long-term values. Number 1, hookup culture promotes immediate pleasure, not deep partnership. Hookup culture. We know we have these dating apps and people want to meet and they meet. At the end of the day, one day I downloaded an app and I wanted to meet people. I remember I just used to scroll up and down to see if I'm going to meet someone there. But I realized all those things are just fake. They're not real at the end of the day. I believe there are people who've met on those dating apps and they are married and all that. But I'm talking about the bigger percentage. That bigger percentage that they felt, you know what, I want to be here. And I've seen people who have gone to various towns to hook up with those people, to hook up with other people so that they can have a relationship. But my question is, did those relationships end up to be something that is beautiful? No, it did not. Because at the end of the day, it was all about, let me adjust this light a little bit because it seems like I'm so dark. Yes, let me make it real. Let me make it real so that we can adjust on so many things. So people don't want to get it right because you just want hookups. And then you do what you feel it's pleasurable at that moment. And then you lose the intention of being in a relationship. It does not work like that. It cannot work like that, and it will never work. You have to understand once again, being in a relationship, the principles that I talked about, the laws and the values that I talked about, those things are required. And I'm going to talk about those things that you need to do to make a relationship work. The other point is, many chase aesthetic attraction, not character or compatibility. You know, here in Mombasa, I'm in Mombasa, and here in Mombasa, this is what happens. You know, because of how hot it is, you'll walk on the roads and you'll find, our ladies walking almost naked. And I came to understand that the most of the ladies that are walking in the streets of Mombasa almost naked, they are not from Mombasa. Most of these ladies are from other towns and other cities. They came here and they want to show us that, you know what, we are from here. Because the ladies, most of them who are from here, they are dressing like people who are from here. That is one of the things I came to realize. But these people who dress the way they dress, my dress, my choice, and all that. Let me tell you one thing, ladies. Today, as a man, I see you with that short skirt, with that short dress that is making you almost naked and all that. Do you know what will come to my mind? A woman that I will use. Because there are three types of women: a woman that you can use, a woman that you can keep, and a woman that you can save. The woman that you can use has displayed herself like a prostitute, has displayed herself in a way that when a man sees her, or any other man, because I know as men, I can walk with 5 of my friends or 10 of my friends who are men, and we see a lady that is almost naked. We are going to gossip her, and we are going to talk about her and say, my God, look at that lady. Huyu ni msichana tu wa kukula na kuondokea. Ladies, that is what men say. But I want you to understand, you need to be in a place of not just being a person that is going to be used. Because a person that is going to be used, that is not a person to have, to keep. But a person that you can keep, you can save. Because a man will have all the sweet pleasures of this life with this kind of women. But look at the very women that men marry. I'm not going to answer that. You already know. So you need to look and search for a person of character. A person that is of discipline. Even for you ladies. Look at the men. Most men nowadays, because these men, they've noticed that you love money. That you love money. I know, I have friends that have money. Yes. And these friends of mine, some of them, I listen to them and I'm like, bro, you cannot do that. They do not understand the purpose of being in a relationship. And I know some people who are crazy. They're like, these ladies, you know what? They love money. And I'm going to display myself as a man of money. And I'm going to bring them close to me. At the end of the day, what is happening? You will lose yourself to what we call the mouth of the wolves. And you're not going to be a person of integrity at the end of the day. Because we know and we understand and we get to know the kind of woman that we want to be. From day one, we know, no matter the background, we know the kind of a woman that we want to be to have at the end of the day. So no matter how you display yourself as a woman out there, at the end of the day, the man knows the kind of, it is so natural for us. We know the kind of a woman that we want to save. We know the kind of a woman that we want to marry. Never lie to yourself as a woman that when you put that makeup, when you put that nice dress, that is how a man will see you and be with you. No. A man will go in those shoddy places and get down there and look for a wife and marry the next day. And a man who wants to marry will not keep you for 10 years. He will keep you for few months, few days, take you to his parents and marry you without even joking. People will be questioning, Yani, you got married to this person that quickly. Because when a man understands his purpose, he will let you get into that purpose. Because anajua that you will be in that purpose and you will make it better. The other thing is, longevity is sacrificed for momentary excitement. You want to enjoy your partner because he has money, because he has a good car, because he can take you to Dubai, because he can take you to America. And that is why that relationship is lasting. But that day when money ends, that day when that beauty fades, that relationship is no more. Was that the intention of God from beginning? No, it was never the intention of God. The intention of God was that you and I can enjoy the beauty that God displayed, the beauty that God created here on earth. My brothers, and my sisters, take responsibility, because this world is not a joke. This world is not a place to play around with. This world is not a place to joke around with. Number 6, social media and unrealistic expectations. Social media and unrealistic expectations. Number 1, we compare love stories to curated Instagram reels or TikTok reels or whatever. What you see is not what it is. Because at the end of the day, what do you desire for your partner to achieve? What do you desire for a relationship? What do you desire for yourself? That which is real, or that which has been displayed by the Kardashians, that which has been displayed by the, by the Didis, that which has been displayed by the, this Kenyan lady, is it Rave something? You need to understand that the most important thing is to build something that is long lasting. But you want to compare some love stories on social media. You want to compare your relationship. And it happens mostly with ladies. Hey, you don't take me out like, oh, nowadays you don't take me out. Well, when are we going to eat out? When are we going to do? Your lady compares you with other men because Nani takes that girlfriend out. Why don't you take me out? Come on. That is not a reality. That is not how it's supposed to be. You need to understand your partner. You need to be with this person that, you make that relationship to be something that is tangible, something that is beautiful beyond. Because the beauty of it all is all about you understanding that relationships are based on knowledge. Based on knowledge. And I'm going to insist on that. Based on knowledge. The other point is pressure to perform rather than build something real. Pressure to perform. Have you seen couples? They are overworking themselves because your partner is pressurizing you. Oh, I need this. You have to do this. You cannot be like today. I came across something, and it was this gentleman who posted this very thing, and it was somehow funny, but I was like, no. This person said, if I'm going to provide, we are going to provide, I'm also going to provide. But I'm not going to be faithful. If I'm going to provide, I'm not going to be faithful. And if I'm going to be faithful, I'm not going to provide. It's somehow funny, but it's so real. Why should you be in a relationship with this kind of a person that makes you feel like nothing? That when you're providing for that person, they will not be faithful. If they are faithful, they will not provide. What kind of a relationship is that? That is what is normal nowadays in our lives. And we do not have to be in that way. My brothers and my sisters, if you're watching me, you have to take the initiative to understand that the beauty of this life is to build something that is futuristic, something that is conducive, something that is growing, and that will make that relationship become better. The other point is external validation replaces internal connection. External validation. You want people to tell you, hey, you know what, with that person you're having, hey, I don't think they're right for you. My brother and my sister, you made a choice to be with that person. Take that responsibility of building that relationship in a way that it should be. Handle that relationship with all strength that is within you and make it better without fear of contradiction, and build it to be something that is of worth. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing, you are proving that you are willing to make that relationship. Number 7, men versus women. Misunderstood expectations. Misunderstood expectation. Number 1, talk about what men want, what women want. Often mismatched. Yes. When you ask women what do they want, they will tell you the opposite. When you ask the men the same, they will tell you the opposite. But like I said previously, there are laws, there are principles as to why people should be in relationships. And if we do it, we can be able to achieve tremendous things in this life. We will be able to achieve the goals of what it entails to be in a relationship or marriage. My brothers and my sisters, the issue here is so important for us to understand that every relationship has a struggle. Every relationship has some pains and all those things. But it is for you to just take bold steps, bold decisions. You make them and understand that, hey, despite what people are saying, despite, the energies that are being put out there, I've made a decision to be with this person. I've made a decision to walk this journey with this person without fearing, without engaging myself in certain confusions and all that. And that is the beauty of it all. So the other thing is, culture trains us to pursue, perform, or protect ourselves, but rarely to communicate. Yeah, like I talked, cultural and traditional marriages, wives were told, stay at home. You need to cook, you need to be in the kitchen. You need to do this and that. And the men were told, you need to go out and do what you have to do. So there was no proper communication between the two parties. So it's important for each one of us to be in a place of knowing that communication is supposed to be available. And most of you are talking in relationships. Most of you are just expressing, ideas that are not fundamental, that are not foundational in a relationship. And that is why that relationship cannot work. That is why that relationship cannot be. So the beauty of the matter is to communicate vividly, not just talking, communicate respectfully. And for men, we have to allow our women to express themselves, and to express themselves respectfully, knowing that I'm talking to my king. And so that the man can know that they're kings in that throne and all that, and respect them without fear. And the woman gets to know that I'm talking to my king, and my king protects me, and my king understands my emotions and understands how I am, and I will express myself. So it's a two-way thing, that you have to respect each other. But at the end of the day, the man has to love the woman, and the woman has to respect the man, because that is one of the laws, one of the principles, the values that were set for each one of us to have a valid and a continuity of a relationship that goes beyond just religious beliefs, traditional beliefs. Because kingdom marriage, kingdom relationships is all that is required in our daily lives. The other point is, address gender-specific dating wounds and miscommunication. Those are the things that you need to talk about. People fear. People don't want to talk about the pains they've experienced, the torture they've gone through, the hideous situations they've faced in this life. You don't want to tell your partner, this is what I went through. I met with this boyfriend, he used to beat me. I met with this boyfriend, he used to make me feel like nothing. I met with this woman, and this is what she did to me. Personally, I remember I was in a relationship that was so crazy back in the days. And people used to tell me, you know, my guy, you need to, well, we can see you're going to sink in this. I did not listen. I said previously, sometimes you don't have to listen to people for on what they're saying. But this moment also, you need to have a discerning heart, a discerning spirit, to get to know the kind of a person that you're getting into a relationship with. Building a relationship requires integrity and intention, and you make yourself available to the truth that is based on the knowledge that has been put forward. And where do we find this knowledge? In the Bible, there's a chapter that says, a book that says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. So relationships are perishing because they are lacking knowledge. They are lacking understanding. They are lacking the ability to become something that is beautiful. For those who are joining, thank you so much. You have to take the initiative of moving forward and making something that is profound. So you have to address the past pains, the past heartaches, the past atrocities. You have to express them before you get married to this person, so that they can make a choice if they're going to be a part of you. They can make a decision. But people getting into marriages, they've hidden their past issues. They've hidden their past experiences. Someone will say, you know what? I don't have to share my past with you. I don't have to say it. Trust me, you need to heal those wounds. And that person, I know a friend who is married, or a friend of mine who has married an ex-prostitute, a former prostitute. I'll say this, former sex worker. Apologies for using the word prostitute. Former sex worker. I take those words back. I want to tell you that very guy loves that lady to the core. And because that lady came, I was there. I was in that place, that moment when this lady was expressing herself. And this lady spoke her heart out and said, I did this because of ABCD. I never wanted to do this. And the man, because of the love he had for this lady, that man embraced that lady. And today they're very happy. It's 5 years and they're very happy together. They love each other. They have children, 2 children, and they're enjoying. So that lady healed from past traumas. That lady healed from past issues. There are things I know you cannot share with your partner because you feel, if I share, you know what, at the end of the day, I don't know how my guy will carry me. He will carry me. But I want to tell you, a real man will be with you and put you in a safe place whereby you're going to enjoy how to be embraced as a woman. And the same even for the man. If a woman is so strong, they will hold you down and walk with you no matter what. I think because of time also, I want to share, I think, a few things so that we're able to get it right. I want to go to number 8, dating with purpose, dating for ego. Dating with purpose versus dating for ego. Are you dating because you are ready to give love or just to get attention? You can listen to that statement. To give or to get attention. Most of you are in that relationship because you want to get attention. You want your man to see you as that beautiful girl, and all that. And for the man, you want your woman to see you as that guy who has money and can walk tall and make all things become, But it's not about that, being in a relationship. It's all about understanding, once again, why you are in that relationship. What is the reason? Why did you get married? Why did you get into that relationship? My brother and my sister, the beauty is you get into a relationship because of purpose. And you have to understand it. And you have to get it right. So the other point is, purpose-driven dating leads to peace. Ego-driven dating leads to pain. If you are purposefully riding on a wheel that will take you, that you desire, it takes you to a greater place, it will. But if you're getting into a relationship because you want to satisfy those emotions, you want your person to just see you, you want to do those nails and sit at home, I'm a housewife, and there's nothing you can share. Your brain is empty, there's nothing you can share. I tell you for a fact that that relationship will begin to go down. Because a wise woman with his 2 hands builds her home. But a silly woman, a stupid one with the same 2 hands destroys her house. And I can say even to the men that are not wise, they can also destroy their marriages. Because it takes a man who understands the place of leadership. Your voice counts. Your ability to take responsibility counts a lot. And you have to make sure that you move past the idea of, I have to do it. I have to do it for this person to see me. I'm a man and all that. No. They already know you're a man. They already know you're the leader in that relationship. You don't have to prove any point. You just have to show that, hey, this is what I have to build. This is what I needed to build. And this is what I need to make different and all that. Number 9, how to heal and date differently. How to heal and date differently. Previously, I said I'll tell you what to do to get into that realistic relationship. So you self awareness, know your patterns. You need to be self aware when you're getting into that relationship. Be aware of yourself. Personally, when I walk on the road, I'm always aware of my surrounding. I always know, even when I pick my phone and I'm talking to someone somewhere is watching me. So I have to be very careful because I don't know the intentions. And it's not about being paranoid or anything. It's about being aware of your surrounding. You know what is happening around you. So you need to be aware of yourself, because at that moment you'll be able to understand what you need, what you want with yourself in that relationship. The other point, heal before entering. Don't drag old wounds into new connections. You have to heal from past traumas, past pains and all that before you drag yourself into that, drag those issues into that relationship. You have to get rid of those issues. You have to understand the need of you being in that relationship makes it much better to do it in a way that is profound. You have to understand it. So you have to be aware of of yourself before you get into that relationship. You have to heal before entering into that relationship. And then the other point is define your values. Communicate clearly and don't settle for confusion. Define your values. What do you want? Tell that person, this is what I like. I don't like this. This is what I need. You can be harsh and let them know. Show them that face and let them know. Be serious about it, because this is not a matter of just today. It is a matter of life. So you cannot be with someone at the end of the day they unalive you because you do not know them. So you have to be very careful, because you see the issues of gender violence out here. It's crazy. Some of us, you're married to psychos, you don't know. You're married to a psycho, you don't know that this person one day can wake up and just screw your head, can just take something and hit you. You need to be very careful. So you need to be aware of yourself, heal from past pains, and define your values. What do you want? Communicate clearly to avoid confusion. That is what it is required. The last point is this: faith, values. That is number 10, faith, values, and real love. So what do we mean? Where does God or faith fit into your dating life? I know some of you have different beliefs, and you have various beliefs. Some of you don't believe in anything. But I want to tell you this moment, where does God or faith fit into your dating life? Does God take the first priority? Because a cord of 3 strands cannot be easily be broken. So it's important for you to allow God to be a part of that relationship. The other thing, talk about spiritual alignment, not just emotional and physical. This point brings me to a point that I will talk about on Sunday. I will talk on Sunday about spirituality, so that we are able to understand the reality of what happens into our lives. So talk about spiritual alignment, not just emotional and physical. And the other point is, true love starts with a transformed mind and God-centered standards. My brothers and my sisters, that is very crucial for you. You have to be in a place of knowing that there are standards you need to set. Don't be scared. Don't be fearful. No. Have you ever seen adverts getting down? No. They do it better. I remember back in the days when we were growing up, I used to see some adverts. Today I see them to be so funny. Today I'm doing this clip. Like I told you, there are certain imperfections here and there. But in the moment of doing it, I'm improving. In the moment of doing it, don't be seated. Start something and move forward. Don't be there. And I'm encouraging you, don't be scared of what people are going to say. Begin that relationship without fear. Begin that thing that you want to do without fear and move forward. It doesn't matter what they're going to say. Grow in the process. Begin now and do it in the process. It doesn't matter. So true love starts with a transformed mind. You have to be transformed. You have to be changed so that you can make that relationship work. Have God-centered standards so that you can make that relationship. Lastly, I want to say that what's the worst date you've ever been on? That's a question I can ask. You should answer yourself. Have you ever been ghosted? How did it feel? Why do you think people are afraid of commitment today? Can a situationship ever become something real? What does a healthy relationship look like to you? My brothers and my sisters, as I conclude, take the initiative, take the responsibility of doing it right and pushing for an agenda that will build you, that will make you someone that is responsible. And it begins by making certain choices in this life. Like I said, there is nothing in relationships. We all bring who we are. We all bring our personalities into a relationship. Take that initiative, take that step, and move past what people say. Move to that place of realizing that I am here to build something that will work, not something that is going to just deteriorate at the end of the day. Take that initiative, my brothers and my sisters. For those that have joined even now, and for those that have been with me all along, thank you so much. I appreciate so much for your time. You've taken this time. On Sunday, I'll be talking about the need of us understanding our spirituality so that we are able to know where is God? What does God desire of us? So on Sunday, same time, I'll be able to, let me just speak like a philosopher, to dissect the realities that are so in the aspect of spirituality, so that we can move past what we think was true and definite, and we can be able to realize the intentions of God for humanity. So I will be here, and thank you so much. Let us walk this journey together. Let's build this together. Share, and let's just do this. Like, follow, and do whatever you can so that we can be a family even more. And you can always click on the bio and get to book a session even with us, so that we can just talk and listen to you and be able to advise each other and reason together, so that we can build healthy relationships even in the future. Thank you so much, and may God bless you until on Sunday.